What's going on YouTube and four-wheel drive fans? It's Andreas here from Symmetry 4-Wheel Drive and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's episode we are going to be doing a bit of an unboxing video, and the reason for that is because the suspension on my 80 series has been a bit of a bother for me recently, and the main reason for that is when I load up for a trip or a weekend away or traveling with the family, anything like that, the rear of my 80 series is sagging substantially and it's really causing headaches with the tires scrubbing, the 35-inch tires, as well as ruining my rear fenders and the over fender arches that are on the rear of the 80 series. And generally the car just isn't riding as good as it should, and I really want to get the maximum performance and flex out of the car while still being able to carry load and take myself and the family safely away on trips. So what's on the car currently? Now we have a old 2-inch Old Man Emu lift on the car, and that was installed probably in 2007 if the records are correct for my 80 series LandCruiser, and being 17 years old or however long that is, the suspension is sagging quite a lot, and I've wanted to sort that out for a while, and instead of dicking around and getting a temporary solution for the car, I thought I'd save up a bit and get what I think will be the ultimate suspension setup for the 80 series. So what we're going to do is dive right into unboxing all of the components that I have purchased to make my ultimate suspension setup for the 80. So let's dive right into the unboxing and then we'll explain everything that we got. Let's jump into it. So guys, as you can see, it looks like Christmas came early for me. So it's currently June, but by the time this video drops, it should be July, so you could say Christmas in July. So let's just quickly go over all the parts that I ordered and I'll just show you what they are. So starting on the right hand side here, we have the Superior 2.0, which stands for 2-inch remote reservoir shocks, and those come with 8 levels of damping adjustment from soft to hard. So on road you can make your car a bit stiffer in the damping if you want more control and handling, and then you can soften that right up for when you are off-road to get maximum flex and articulation. So these 2.0 remote res shocks from Superior Engineering come with all the bushes and hardware you need to install, and they look absolutely awesome. Really good quality bolt, or really good bolt quality. And if you have a look here at the piston shaft on this shock, you can see just how thick that is compared to my finger, and these are built really robustly and really solid. They are a fantastic piece of kit. So here are the rest of the shocks. I thought I would just leave them in the box whilst I show you all the other parts. I didn't want to clutter the table too much. But just to expand on that, we are going for a 10-inch travel rear so that I can still use the factory bump stop locations, hopefully, and heights, and gain a lot more down travel while still maintaining the factory amount of up travel with the stock bump stop. So that's why we went with the 10-inch travel rear, and then we went with the 12-inch travel front, so that eventually when I get radius arms, some flexi radius arms, then we can gain the maximum amount of travel in the front without changing the bump stop heights. So moving on, we then have an adjustable panhard bar as well as the other one, so front and rear, and that's to accommodate for the lift and get your axles located correctly once lifting over 2 inches, or any lift could benefit from an adjustable panhard. And then we also have the comp spec solid drag and tie rods, and those are very hefty solid pieces, and that should make sure that your steering components don't break when out on the trail. So moving on to the rear arms here, we have these adjustable reinforced rear lower control arms, as well as the adjustable upper control arms. So this will help you set your diff pinion angle correctly with the drive shaft, as well as accommodating for any sort of lift and getting your caster right in the rear. So we also have these remote reservoir mounting brackets for the front and rear to mount the remote reservoir of the shocks to the body of the car. These are also just the supplies hose clamps, or clamps for those. And then just for in case the Dobinson springs that I ordered, in case I still need a little bit of extra lift with the load rating, I also ordered 2 15mm coil spacers for the rear, just in case, to make sure my ride height is exactly where I want it to be. So then with the lift kit as well, this is the brake proportioning valve adjustment bracket, so that we can move that according to the lift that we do, which will be that 3-inch lift. Then we have our sway bar extensions for the rear. So on my LandCruiser, they are those side plate mounted style ones. So this is 2 of those, one for each side for the rear sway bar. And then as well, we have the front sway bar extensions, just to make sure that the sway bar operates as intended with our lifted height. We also have these spring retainers for the front and rear to make sure that under extreme articulation conditions we don't have any springs popping out. I hope that I'll get enough articulation that those will actually come into play. And then rounding off the suspension, we have these extended brake lines for the front and rear to make sure that those don't come under any tension when the axle is dropped or articulating, as the factory lines would likely be too short. So that is mostly everything that is going on the car. I'll just quickly explain a couple of the other components that aren't shown right here, right now. So the components that I don't have to show you right this moment are the caster correction plates for the front of the car to correct the caster angle so that the car rides well on the road as well as off-road. And those we have gone with a set of 3-inch caster plates from Zombie Off-Road, which is one of the local suppliers of LandCruiser parts here locally, Henry Mouton. And we have those on order, so we're just waiting for those to arrive, and then we will install those along with the rest of the kit behind me once we receive those. Then lastly, we also have a set of 3-inch Dobinson coil springs that will be the lift portion of this install, and we went with a 100 kilogram constant load front on those 3-inch lift coils and a 200 kilo constant load rear. And I'm hoping that that amount of load rating will be fine with the load that I have in the car. As I mentioned, I bought those rear coil spacers just in case with loading the car up the rear still sags even with that lift, but we'll test that out and see how it goes. But I'll show you a quick clip of those components now as well. And yeah, that sort of rounds off and completes this entire kit that we have put together. And I really think that for me this is the ultimate setup for the LandCruiser. The superior engineering components that we ordered for the car, as well as the Dobinson ones and the other parts from Zombie Off-Road, are all really high quality, tried and tested parts, and just having the parts in my hands at the moment really confirms that and shows me just how well the build quality of these parts have been engineered, and the solidity and robustness of them is really top-notch, top quality. The only thing I am missing to make this the absolute ultimate kit for me is a set of front radius arms to allow for more articulation at the front of the vehicle, and those will definitely be coming in the future. And once those are installed, that will be the absolute top ultimate kit for the LandCruiser in my opinion. So we are going to install all of these components, test them out thoroughly, get the car aligned properly. Everything will be done just how it should be, and we'll take you along for that entire process. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you are nearly as excited as me for these parts to go into the 80 series, and definitely stay tuned to the Symmetry 4-wheel drive channel as we document the whole installation process of these components onto the 80 series LandCruiser. Now, I can't contain myself, I need to start installing these parts, so we'll catch you again soon on Symmetry 4-wheel drive. Cheers.